what is the trends in the bar market? Are millennials and younger people really going to bars, or are they switching them for other things?
Hello, everyone. My name is Eishan, and I'm going to be playing the role of the interviewer. I'm a second-year consultant at Bain London.
Hi, everyone. I am Daniela. I am going to play the role of the interviewee. I'm a student at the Darden MBA, and I'm going to go to BCG after the MBA.
Amazing. Lovely to meet you, Daniela, and hope you're excited for your first round interview today.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So we can start whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
Amazing. So today we are going to be looking at the F&B industry, actually. It's a case about something I wish I had the courage to open, but clearly I don't. So your client today is an entrepreneur looking to invest in a new bar.
Okay.
He needs to determine how profitable the company will be and convince his primary investor, who is also his father, that it will be a viable business. What factors would you consider and investigate to prove that it is a viable business?
All right. Okay, so this does sound like a fun case. You were right. Just to recap that I have everything right, we are looking if our client should invest in opening a new bar. And the major goal is to determine profitability to convince the dad that it's a good investment. Am I right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so in order to answer your question, first I would just like to ask you 3 very quick questions. Number 1 is, do we have a specific goal, numeric goal for profitability?
There's no specific goal for profitability, but just think about like it has to be profitable over in the long run.
Okay, makes sense. So you mentioned in the long run, do we have a specific time frame or deadline to achieve this?
There's no again specific deadline to achieve this. However, he will kind of be considering this maybe on a 5-year horizon.
Okay.
But there's no like deadline to reach profitability.
Okay, sounds good. And my last question is, are they only looking to open one bar or several bars?
For now, the plan is to open only one.
Okay, sounds good. I'm going to take a couple minutes to work on the framework, and I will come back to you.
Okay, awesome.
All right, so in order to tackle this profitability problem, I am thinking of 3 main things. Number 1, I would like to analyze the bar market and how our bar is looking around this area. So for this, I would love to know what's the location that he's looking at, who are the competitors in this location and also in other locations. What is the trends in the bar market? Are millennials and younger people really going to bars, or are they switching them for other things? And what's the demand in general? Also, I would love to know what's the products and services that he's thinking of offering. And finally, if building a bar is the best alternative, maybe he could buy an existing bar. Moving from bar market and into the second one, that is profitability, I would love to look into revenues and costs. So from the revenue perspective, I am thinking of how much money are they going to charge for each of the items that they're selling and their services. Then what's going to be our demand? How many people and visitors are we going to have? Also, are they looking to offering other services besides only drinks or whatever is obvious they're offering in a bar? So I am thinking of they could rent the space, they could produce beer and bottle it and sell it somewhere else. And also, how are they going to generate demand? And for the costs, I am thinking of there must be a very big upfront investment. So how does this look in terms of the construction of the place, establishing it, and also creating the brand to make people come? Also, there must be ongoing costs. So the cost of the products and also like SG&A, marketing, etc. And I am thinking also of admin costs. So for example, we need to hire a lawyer to get the permits. I know that selling alcohol may be tricky in some states. So we'll definitely take a look into that. And finally, what's the opportunity cost of investing this instead of investing in anything else, mostly for the dad? And finally, And number three, I would love to take a look into the capabilities of our client. So does he have the time to dedicate to this? Does he have expertise doing this kind of businesses? Who are going to be his partners? How is he going to hire all the people that are going to work there? Also, can he manage this place, or would he need to like hire a third party to do so? What are his sources of money? Is it only his dad, or will he look for another investors? Those are the three things that I think we should look into. I would love to start in the profitability portion that you mentioned in the prompt. That is like the most important thing. So I was wondering if you have any information about revenues and costs.
Yeah, actually, we do have some information. However, what specific information are you looking for?
So to get the revenues, I would love to know what specific products and services are we looking to sell. And from that, I think that would be a good start point.
Yeah, so I think that's a very relevant question. So I think after that comprehensive framework, the things that they're planning to sell are primarily food and drink. So you can imagine regular bar food like wings, fries, etc., and drinks like standard drinks, beers, spirits, wine.
Sounds good. So no other additional sources of revenue right now?
Not at the moment, no.
All right. And do we have any information about the average customers that we expect to receive to get the quantity?
Again, that's a very good question. Let me just show you a quick chart that might be helpful.
Okay. All right. So what I see here is that we are dividing the week into. So I'm going to call weekends from Thursday to Saturday and weekdays from Sunday to Wednesday. Yeah. I see that in weekends we have a higher demand, but in weekdays it's pretty high as well. I wouldn't like neglect it. I think that some bars are literally just open on weekends, and it's not the case for our clients. And another important thing that I'm spotting here is that on weekends we are open till later, till 2 a.m. versus weekdays we're only open till midnight. Yeah. So that will be important to calculate the hours. Okay. So I think that with this information and what you just shared, that we are selling food and drinks, can you repeat how much are we selling the food and drinks for, please?
Yeah, good question. So you can assume that the average customer spends about $15 on food, and about $20 on drinks every time.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. So this is definitely like a sports bar. I love it. So, okay. So now that I have the price and the quantity, I can definitely jump into calculations for revenue, if that sounds okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Awesome. So the way that I am thinking of organizing this data is doing two columns. So I'm going to do a column for weekdays and another column for weekends. And each of these columns, I'm going to divide them by food and drinks, just so I have like all the information that I need. So we have that in the daytime from noon to 8 p.m. we are serving 10 orders of food, 4 of drinks on weekdays. I'm going to start only with weekdays. Okay. And we are open 8 hours from 12 to 8. So the daytime offers that we would that we would have are for food, it would be 80, so 10 times 8. And for drinks, it would be 4 times 8. That gives me 32. So it's 80 for food, 32 for drinks. Now, for nights, that in weekdays is from 8 p.m. till midnight, we will have 4 of food, 4 orders of food, and 15 orders of drinks. So if I multiply that times the hours that we're open at night, that is just 4 hours, I would get 16 orders for food at night and 60 orders of drinks. Right. Then, okay. So I will just add this up. So the total food that we would have is 80 plus 16. It would be 96. And the total drink that we would have is 32 plus 60, that's 92. Okay, so this is per day, but then we have 4 days per weekdays. So from Sunday to Wednesday, so it's 4 days. Can I round up the 96 and the 92?
No, I'd prefer if you did the entire calculation actually.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
So then thank you. I am going to multiply 96 orders of food times 4 days per week. And that is 384 orders per week of food. And now for drinks, it'll be 92 times 4. That is 368 for drinks per week on weekdays. Okay. Now I'm going to do exactly the same for weekends, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So we have that during the day, they're still open for 8 hours. But now during the night, they're open for 6 hours. So that's the only thing that's going to change. So we have 15 orders of food times 8. That's 120 during daytime. Now for drinks, it's 5 orders times 8 hours. It's 40 daytime orders. Moving to night, it's 5 orders of food times 6 hours. It's 30 night orders of food. And for drinks, it's 20 orders of food times 6. That is 120 orders of drinks. Okay, so now I am going to add up again total food and total drinks per day. Total food would be 120 plus the 30 night orders is 150. And for drinks, it is 40 plus 120. That is 160.
Right.
Okay. And now again, for weekends, we have 3 days each weekend, from Thursday to Saturday. So I'm going to multiply those numbers times 3. So it'd be 150 orders of food per day times 3 days. That gives me 450. And for drinks, it'll be 160 times 3 days per weekend. It is 480. Okay, so now I have the total weekly orders for both food and drink. What I would like to do is just add up all food and add up all drinks to have the total orders.
Okay.
So for food, it would be the 384 of weekdays plus 450 of weekends. That gives me 834 orders per week for food.
Okay.
And for drinks, it would be 368 for weekdays plus 480 for weekends. That would be 848 orders of drinks in the week, the whole week.
Okay.
Okay, so now I have my total quantities of how much we're selling for both food and drink. And you gave me the prices, well, the average spent per customer on these orders, which is $15 for food and $20 for drinks. So I am just gonna multiply the total quantity times its price, if that's all right.
Okay.
Okay, so it is 15 times 834. That will give me 12,510. And for drinks, it is 20 times 848. That gives me 16,960. So now I will just add up these two revenues to get the total revenue for both food and beverage.
Okay.
The addition is $29,470 per week for food. Okay, so this is the revenues, but we want to calculate profitability. So I would still need some information about costs, if that's okay. So do you have any info about utilities, COGS, and SG&A that you could share with me?
Yes, absolutely. I can share some information with you, but I'd also say just take a second to say that well done on the math. It's not very easy on this case, and it was really good how organized you are. So I think well done. Yeah, so in terms of like cost, I would say yes, we have some information. So the lead cost is 10,000 per month.
Okay.
With the cost of goods sold, food has a 12% gross margin, and drinks have a 50% gross margin.
Okay.
For now, we don't have a lot of data on some of the other costs. We don't actually we do have we do have the labor cost, which I'll tell you in a second. But for some of the other costs that you asked, like utilities, SG&A, it's not like it doesn't exist, but we do not have specific data on that.
Okay, that sounds good.
So with regards to the labor cost, the kitchen, whenever the kitchen is open, it is 4 people, and it is $10 per hour for kitchen staff.
Okay.
The bar has 1 person at $5 per hour, and the waiting staff has 3 people, also at $5 per hour.
Okay, perfect. So just to recap, we have a lease of 10,000 per month. In terms of COGS, food has a gross margin of 12%. So would it be safe to say that COGS is 88%?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, perfect. And for drinks, we have a gross margin of 50%, so COGS would be 50% for drinks.
That's correct.
And now on labor, we have 4 people to whom we pay $10 an hour. In the bar, we have 1 people to whom we pay $5 per hour. And we have 3 waiters to which we pay $5 per hour.
Yes,
correct?
That's correct. That's correct.
Perfect. Okay, if these are all the costs that we have right now, I think I could go ahead and calculate the profit.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so I am going to start with the portion of COGS, if that's okay, because I already have the division of foods and drinks, the revenues for food and drinks. So if I have the total revenue for food is 12,510, and I know that 88% of that is COGS, then I know that the COGS would be. Can I round this up to 90%?
No, I would prefer if you did the entire math, actually.
Okay, sounds good. 1 second. So then the COGS would be for food 11,009.
Okay.
And for drinks, we know that it's 50% of the weekly revenue. The weekly revenue is 16,960. So half of this would be 8,480. So if I add up all my costs, it gives me a total of 19,489.
That is correct.
Awesome. So now I would go to the part of salaries. We know that we have 3 different kinds of employees: kitchen employees, bar, and waiting staff. So for the kitchen, we have a salary of $10 for 4 people. So that would be 40 in total. On bar, we have $5 times 1, it's 5. And on waiting, we have 5 times 3, it's 15. And now I am going to calculate how many hours each of these staff members work. And for this, I will do it. I think I will do it again by weekday and then weekend. I think that will be the easiest approach. And I'm going to calculate how many hours they work per day and then per week. So on weekdays, they are working from noon to midnight. So it's 12 hours because that's the amount of hours that we are open, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And we have 4 weekdays. So if I multiply 4 times 12 hours, that'll be 48.
Okay.
And on weekends, we are opening from noon to 2 a.m. So that's 14 hours on weekends.
Mm-hmm.
And we have only 3 days of weekends. So that is 3 times 14 is 42.
Yes.
Okay. So adding up these hours, weekends and weekdays, we have that each staff member or each type of staff member would work for 90 hours.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm going to do right now is just to multiply these 90 hours times the initial calcs that I did, the $10 times 4, $5 times 1, $5 times 3. So it'll be 90 times 40 for the kitchen would give me 3,600. Now for the bar, we have 90 hours and $5. So 90 times 5, it's 450.
Yes.
And finally, for waiting staff, 90 times 15, that is 1,350.
Right.
For waiting staff. So the total labor that we pay, I will add up these 3 totals. So it's 3,600 plus 450 plus 1,350. That gives me a total weekly labor cost of 5,400. Okay, so I have the costs, I have the labor. We have another cost that you gave me that is the lease, that is 10,000 per month. So since we're talking in weeks instead of months, I'm gonna divide that over 4. So it will be 2,500 per week.
Good catch. Yes.
And now I can get the profit. So the profit would be my weekly revenue, that was 29,470, minus 19,489 from costs, minus 5,400 of labor, minus 2,500 of lease. It gives me a total profit of 2,081 per week.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think I would like to translate this into a yearly basis.
Okay.
Okay, so
feel free to round that to 2,000 if you want.
2,000. Okay. And can I use 50 weeks? Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay, then it would give me 100K per year as annual profit. So this sounds okay. I wouldn't say it's like mind-blowing profit. And also, I am saying this because I think there's an additional initial investment that we should take into account. So do you have any information about this?
Yeah, actually we do. So now there's a slight question from the father's angle, which is that the cost kind of to start this business up is going to be about 500,000 with regards to like renovation, building, equipment, licenses, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So 2 questions here. How long will the business take to break even? And over a 5-year period, what will be the ROI on the investment?
Okay, perfect. So the first question is break even. The second one is ROI in 5 years. Okay, so to calculate the break even, I would need to divide the upfront cost over the annual profit. So you told me that the upfront cost is 500K. If I divide that over the 100,000 that we just calculated, it would give me 5. So it's 5 years that we are looking into for breaking even. And then you ask for the 5-year ROI. That would be the annual profit, that is 100K, times 5 years, so that would be 500K, minus the upfront cost of 500K, times the upfront cost again. So here I am getting that it would be 5%. So if I divide this 5%, it's a 5% ROI, which sounds again okay, but if I divide it over the 5 years, it'll be 1% per year. So I think this still sounds like a risky investment, and it sounds like also there could be other potential investments with a better ROI per year.
Okay, I think that's a fair comment. So finally, I think you've done lots of good analysis. What would you recommend to your client to do?
Okay, so my final recommendation with the information that I have right now is to not go ahead with the project. Although it's slightly profitable, there are other investments that could bring better returns. And this is because I see risks. And the risk is that we excluded some costs that I mentioned in the framework, like utilities and marketing and other things that you have to pay at the moment. And also these projections may not be 100% accurate. What if the location is not as great as we thought it would be? And also there's issues with the supply chain, and a lot of things can go wrong. So I would like to have like a more realistic view of this. To mitigate this risk, I think there's a lot of things we can do to increase revenues. So there's like, we can repurpose the place in the mornings to make a co-working. We could rent the space. We can sell non-alcoholic drinks. We can bottle our beer and sell it outside. We could also like reduce costs, so buying equipment that is used instead of new, etc. So for next steps, what I would like to do is to incorporate these other assumptions and all the possible revenue and cost assumptions into the calculations, and explore other alternatives to buying an existing bar or make any other kind of investment and see what's better.
Amazing. Thank you very much.
Hey everyone, it's Kenton Koveski here, the founder of RocketBlocks. Thank you so much for watching this mock interview video. I hope you found it informative and helpful as you are getting ready to prepare for your own interviews and hopefully landing that job offer you are excited about. We have a ton of great content on the RocketBlocks channel coming out on a weekly basis, mock interviews, mini lessons, and chats with our RocketBlocks experts. So if you haven't subscribed yet already, please do so. There is a big red button below. And if you hit that, you'll get all of our content as soon as it comes out. Thanks for watching and have a great day.